Okay, so hopefully everyone can see the screen okay, and we'll run through the presentation. So today is all about sorry, just a member joining there. So today's all about sort of looking at how you maximize the opportunity on IRP Commerce Cloud, and what elements you have control of, and how you can improve your organic ranking on IRP. Myself, David Dixon, head of customer success at IRP, and we're joined by Richard, our customer success manager. Our CSM role is really to guide the use of IRP products and the service marketplace to help you guys maximize your sales and profits. We're going to be covering off home pages, brand pages, category pages, model pages, content pages, brand category pages, and then as well, quite importantly, how you measure the results and see your time investment on the on-site elements. Say the IRP platform is quite organic rich in terms of what you can control and what can you optimize to get better rankings on Google.
So we've obviously a few new faces on the call today, but we cover off this slide at the beginning of each session. So really, this is just e-commerce and numbers. I always sort of think back to the period through COVID, when many of the merchants were doing really well, and just the sales were appearing from everywhere, but actually there was no real substance or understanding to that. And whenever you break it down, it's actually all about sessions, conversion rate, and average order value. So this example is dropped in each of the sessions. Today, obviously, we're covering SEO, which is traffic, i.e. sessions. In the example here, we see on screen the bottom sessions figure. There's a 20% uplift in sessions. The conversion rate is the same, and the average order value is the same. And the result there over the course of the year is roughly an uplift of about 150k there in sales. So we just encourage our merchants there to use the live sales calculator, which is located in the bottom of the positions page within Trader. And then the next slide in relation to the maths behind e-commerce is really around profits and controlling our costs there. So you'll see the calculations that we use. Obviously, gross profit, very similar to offline businesses, where that's your sales minus your cost of goods. Now, something that we talk about quite a bit and try to control in the best way possible, and it sort of relates to the service marketplace and service provider performance, is e-commerce gross profit, or within the platform, you'll see it referred to as EGP, and that's basically your gross profit minus your traffic spend. And then whenever you take your overheads from your e-commerce gross profit, that's actually your net profit. And obviously, everyone's aim there is to try and make as much net profit as possible.
So today, obviously, the main part of it is around organic, and I suppose there's maybe a bit of a perception out there that maybe IRP don't focus enough on SEO, but we certainly believe that SEO and organic traffic is essential to any successful e-commerce business. The main benefits of it really are it's needed to reduce your CPA percentages, and by having a lower CPA, that will increase your e-gross profits, and that ties back to the calculation that Richard just ran through there. But an important thing to note that it's very important to be rational and systematic. If you're a small retailer or a startup, or like if you're competing against a large fashion retailer like ASOS, you're very unlikely to rank as high as them for some organic terms, as an example. But with time and with effort, focusing on the fundamentals, it is very much possible to increase the ranking of your site and increase the monthly visits you're getting organically. The last webinar we had that was all around the key traffic channels, and it was very much on the front of paid traffic. So we chatted around Google, Facebook, Microsoft, email marketing. But I've left this slide in because the data on the right hand side shows, in IRP terms, direct is organic and direct, and that makes up about 25% of sales. So it is the second largest traffic channel across all IRP merchants. So it is definitely a critical channel, and it's a worthwhile investment. But it's important that the content we go through here, it's say always be systematic and rational about the opportunity and the time invested as well. And the on-site optimization and what you can control, it really is your page meta titles, your meta description. On custom product lists, you have the ability to control your URL structure. On the content and the pages, then, well, that's a custom content page, listings pages, you have your header hierarchy. So your H1, your H2, your H3. And Google uses those tags to crawl the site and determine the importance of the content. And then you have your body copy. So that could be images, that could be text, and that can be used the whole way through the site, from home pages, product pages, category, and brand pages. And we will walk through each of those in more detail. And overall, the IRP has deep SEO capabilities, and they can be optimized. And I'd say SEO is essential to drive as much free traffic as possible. And the importance of that is to overall reduce companies' CPA and help that bottom line.
So David has obviously touched on the contents of today's slides, and there are a number of different areas within IRP where you'll see SEO sort of specific sections that you can work on updating. So we'll run through those now. Just at the very top level is the homepage there. So it's a starting point to ensuring your customers see when searching your brand. Basically that, you know, the terms are relevant in terms of what they're searching for, and that you're best placed on Google, on the search engines there, just for visibility and for clicks. And just doing a bit of research prior to the call and in years gone by there, the figures would suggest from a number of different outlets really that the click-through rate, i.e. the number of customers out of 100, is about 60 to 70% higher from the top 3 organic positions in Google versus paid. So that just gives you some idea of the real sort of benefit of appearing there sort of on those top 3 positions versus your paid ads there. But the homepage, just come back on that. If you think of including any of the terms your customer might be thinking of when searching for your brand, and just double check that those terms or those search keywords are actually included within your page description and also in your page title there. That can help massively in helping you rank just for the generic searches that customers would be doing. Also encourage you to use different country settings within the search engines there as well. So what you appear for in one country might not be the same for another. So just have a consideration about that whenever actually populating the content there within the homepage. The homepage content can be found within the interface and design section. And you'll see whenever you click on the homepage content section, there is an SEO tab there, and that's really what we're viewing here on the screen. Also, we have the mobile specific version for the mobile version of the site there too. So anything that you're including for the desktop there, definitely worth duplicating over on the mobile or populating there somehow with, you know, relevant keywords included. Just in terms of all the pages that we're going to be covering today. And then the next one there, just a step down from that, would be our brand pages there, or one of our listing page types. And similar here, you'll be competing with numerous other businesses and brands online who are typically selling the same product, you know, that you're selling. If you're your own brand, make sure that the sort of generic terms that you're including on the brand pages relate to the kind of product you're selling, i.e. if we're going back in clothing again, your brand pages relate to, you know, shirts, t-shirts, jeans, all those kind of products that you would be selling as a brander. Make sure they're included in the brand pages as well. But just similar in terms of how the homepage there is structured, that there is an SEO tab that can be populated there as well.
And then on the brand pages, and it kind of leads into category pages, along with the SEO tab, and it's the same across most pages in the platform. You do have the on-site elements, such as like the top description, the bottom description, and you can use those for enhancing the on-site experience, both through your user and for Google. And you can include the likes of internal links. Google does rank those highly, and it's again improving the usability of the site for your user to navigate through that. With category pages, again, it's very, very similar to what you can control. But one thing that does seem to get forgotten about on category pages, and actually just categories, the naming convention. We had a specific example last week where actually having an industry specific category, you're way more likely to rank for that than a very general term. So there was an example with an equestrian retailer last week, had a couple of categories, relatively small categories, but were driving good revenue. One was socks, one was knee braces. It would be so much easier, and there'd be less difficulty to rank for equestrian socks or equestrian knee braces. And both of those categories were equestrian specific. So like, again, it's important when you're thinking about this that you are reviewing like category names, category structure, to how someone is going to search for your product. And I say, going from a one-word search term to 2 or 3, yes, it's slightly longer tail, but you're way more likely to have a better chance of ranking well for that. So it's important as a takeaway to kind of review that and see if there's any optimization that can be mentioned.
Just on that point as well, it's worth actually requesting with your account managers, if you haven't already done so. There are different tools for keyword analysis. So SEMrush, which we'll touch on at the end, more around analyzing performance and results. But just in the lead up to running any kind of SEO campaign, ask your account manager for an overview or an export of a keyword analysis. Keywords that you're typically performing quite well on currently, that are maybe just outside the top 3 positions in Google, and they can give you some direction on the kinds of the terms that you want to be really ranking for. David's mentioned the knee braces there versus equestrian knee braces, where there may be a very high keyword difficulty in terms of ranking just for knee braces, but actually equestrian knee braces would be significantly easier and maybe not drive as much volume in terms of traffic, but would actually drive a whole lot more relevant traffic, and then you would actually end up with higher conversion rate on that product as well. And then on down, just from the categories pages and the models page, or categories and brands pages, sorry, we have the models pages. So models pages, obviously merchants there, some of our merchants will have thousands and thousands of models. So when actually looking at the models page, it's probably a good idea to identify within Trader which products are actually receiving the most views there, and probably cross-correlate that with your Search Console performance and what products are getting views and clicks. And then actually look at optimizing those models pages and the content that's included on there. Now, within IRP, those descriptions and titles are auto-generated, and just from the description and the title that you've added there for each specific model. But there is the opportunity there to actually have SEO-specific content as well, whether that be in your page title, page description, or throughout the page keywords.
And on the models page as well, IRP obviously looks at Google requirements and looks at how we can enhance that. So we have a number of rich snippets built into the platform to help with organic rankings, such as price, availability, and product reviews. So if you're utilizing IRP product reviews, those review stars will show in organic listings, and there is research from Google that shows that does help with click-through rate. Content pages then, content pages can be used from anything from about us to delivery to returns to campaign pages. So you have obviously the structure of the page, whether you have your content, your imagery, custom product lists, but you do also have the SEO specific elements for page title and page description. And sometimes maybe thinks that this, well, sure, everyone does this, but we have reviewed quite a lot of sites across the IRP portfolio, and there's quite a lot actually missing the basic elements that were going to help with your ranking and your click-through rate. So it's important to review that across brand, category, product pages, and then they say the content pages, you have the ability to build out custom landing pages, whether that's Black Friday, Christmas campaigns, and I suppose that's timely coming up to a busy and peak Q4 trading period. So you can optimize the page and really have an enhanced and excellent experience for your customers.
Just thinking of the general term the customer is searching for again, you'll see the URL example here up top, and from DV8 Fashion is the example merchant here, but they've got back to black there. But actually you could have something there around, you know, Christmas sale. I think there's a few of our merchants there would do very specific Black Friday related terms there within the URL, so you can be as creative as you want with that, and probably again let the keyword analysis sort of drive those content pages that you're creating in terms of the volume of search and some of the terms that you're considering. And then just moving on from the custom content pages, the evolution of that would be the custom product lists. So custom product lists are a standard custom content page in that you can manually add products or create a criteria list that updates over time automatically. With the custom product list page, you have the ability to have specific content top and bottom. So same as the brand and category pages again there, where you can include internal links, which are very important for the Google bot whenever it's crawling the site to know what way the actual site is structured. And you can include whatever content you want there, top and bottom. And then also you have the opportunity there to include a relevant or an optimized URL there, the same way that you would with custom content. So these pages, custom content and custom product lists, are probably the ones that we would see maybe underutilized the most, and the ones that probably drive the best results in terms of the really specific search terms that merchants could be using to try and drive additional traffic to the site.
And then blog pages. So the blog area of IRP is something that kind of went through a refresh at the tail end of last year. So it was made a lot more user friendly across mobile and desktop. It obviously takes time, and everyone's short of time when it comes to e-commerce websites and what there is to do on a daily basis. But a blog is a great way to educate your merchants and share your experience. You can mix content and products to improve the shopping experience, and you have the ability to optimize content, meta titles, and descriptions in those blogs. And not only will those blogs rank well for your site, you will have the ability to share that through your social channels and through your emails. And having traffic to those pages will only help the overall ranking of those pages.
And then the last one we want to cover off, just in terms of the content pages and where we can actually optimize SEO content, is the brand category pages. And this is probably, or these would be the least known, probably to the merchants across the board there. I've had instances where merchants have contacted to say, look, we're ranking here for, you know, a long-term search term or a long-term keyword, that we actually haven't done any work off, or where this page came from. So in the background there, automatically brands and categories are combined, and they result in, and they create what they call a brand category page. So brand category pages can be optimized similarly there, where you can include your own top and bottom descriptions. That is auto-populated as it stands from IRP, where the top description there will include the brand description and the category description, but there's actually an import that you can do to overwrite that automatic population there. And it's just interesting, again, whenever you look at your Google Search Console and you export out your results there and filter them or sort them by clicks and views, typically the brand category pages actually come up quite frequently, because they're so specific. And really there's interest there, and they do tend to rank quite well there versus the other content pages that we have within IRP. So just in terms of all the content pages, this really gives an overview of all the imports, or the bulk imports that we can do around SEO content, and allowing you to be as efficient as possible probably in managing each of the pages that we've covered off here. So this table is probably one for looking back on after today's session, just to get an idea of where you can actually update these pages from. We'll not go through them line by line there, but probably the very bottom one there, the brand category pages, just if we're touching on that, you'll see that there's actually an integration there that would need to be put in place. Now, when I say an integration, that's essentially a copy and paste. Literally takes 5 minutes, or so David or myself can help you with that. And then it's the import of a file into IRP. A couple of the others there, it's just useful actually to export out some of these tables or some of these content pages and see where you're missing content from. And that's probably a good way to actually address this and try and improve on pages that you're maybe not ranking for currently.
And then we kind of added in, we had some feedback from previous merchants to say, well, what about case studies? What about use examples of how we can relate to? So measuring results is critical to all of this, regardless of the channel. From an organic point of view, probably the kind of 3 tools that you will be using to measure your results is Google Search Console. So as Richard touched base on, you have the historic performance of the ranking of your pages, position, impressions, click-through rate, and what your kind of key competitors are there. SEMrush, another tool. There's other tools like SimilarWeb, etc., where you can do keyword analysis. You can see a breakdown of organic traffic, and then IRP Trader itself. So using the power filter in Trader, and we'll go into this in a wee bit more detail, but you can see and report on what products, what customers, what brands, and what categories are selling via organic channels. We've included here, it's just a snapshot of a merchant's Google Search Console. So we worked closely with a merchant earlier in the year to see, well, how do we actually get them more traffic organically? One of the biggest sort of wins for this merchant was actually investing time and effort into the brand category pages. They seen from Google Search Console that they were getting good traffic, but the maybe conversion rate wasn't great, or it wasn't resulting in good sales off the back of the traffic. So we analyzed the pages, we improved the user experience by creating the specific brand category pages. And again, it makes logical sense. Like this example is Olsen jeans. If you have a brand Olsen and a category jeans, 2 individual pages, it's going to be a lot more competition ranking for Olsen and jeans. But if you put them together, which is typically what the customer will be looking, you have a higher chance of ranking. So kind of this snapshot shows, looking at a 3-month comparison year on year, for this specific page, they rose from 4.4, position 4, up to 1. And that resulted in a higher click-through rate, more impressions, and more clicks. And it improved their bottom line because they were getting more sales, and it helped reduce their overall CPA, which is the point of that. So say with those tools, you can see the results from the effort invested.
And then just going on further from that, so David had mentioned the IRP Trader. So within Trader and within sales analysis, you just see the screenshot here on the right-hand side. We've circled the traffic sources. So whenever you see direct traffic referred to within IRP, that's essentially traffic with no partner ID appended. So all other channels there will have a partner ID. Outside of that, your direct traffic will include customers who specifically know your brand, i.e. they'll search for the URL or the name of your company and they'll land directly on the site. But outside of that, all organic traffic will be included along with direct there. So we just encourage you to probably go into the sales analysis, set your time frames there and your dates if you're going to be doing any work on this. And then you'll see up top just where we have models highlighted in gray there, you can actually set the sales channel or the traffic source, and you would select direct traffic, and then that'll give you a table view of the products that are actually getting the most views and the most clicks and most sales organically and through direct traffic. So that's a really useful area within IRP, just to see the impact of the work that you've been doing on SEO.
And just to kind of circle back to one of the earlier slides, it's to reiterate, like IRP 100% believes SEO is essential to e-commerce success. And the main benefit really is that it helps you reduce your CPA and helps you increase your e-gross profits. But always, it's important to be rational and systematic. I would just say that was everything we wanted to cover in the presentation today. I'm just going to stop sharing, and then we'll have time for questions as well.